Is it looking good?
Looking great.
Let me adjust my... Here we go. Okay.
Very good.
All right, ready?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for entering the crypt with us. We're Bone Patrol. I'm Aaron.
Chris?
I'm Tyler.
And thanks for joining us on this wonderful day. To get started, actually, we're going to try something new. Christopher's going to share a little haiku to give us a summary of what the episode will be about.
How does haiku work again? It's 575.
Yep.
Right.
I thought it was 757.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
It is 5.
Chickens dancing in my room. I can see your butt. Wait.
Wait.
You missed a line.
Wait. Snot dripping from my nose. Chickens dancing in my room. Wait, is that 6 or 7?
It's 575.
Yeah, but that last one, was that 6 or 7?
The last one?
Chickens dancing in my room.
That's 7.
Okay, that's 7. I can see your butt.
Is that the summary of what is happening? An old Nickelodeon haiku?
Yeah. No. I can't think of one on the spot. Let's see. Not my
Dad.
fave actor.
Please help me.
That was only 3.
Please help me.
Join my
Please.
cult today.
Join my cult today. There we go. That we didn't get the 7, but we got 5, 3, 3, 5.
I'd say we get a
80% of a
participation
haiku
point.
is technically a passing haiku.
Hey, you know what? Slam poetry is a thing, so I think that we can get away with slam haikuery.
I think so too.
So
All right. Well, on that
slam
note,
jam.
take it away, Christopher. What's going on today?
So actually I wanted to say that for Joseph's Yeti challenge, Joseph being every last mile, I don't know him, we're not related in any sort of way. He had his first person figure out the first piece of the 3-part puzzle, so that's exciting. So if you're following it, you might want to step up your game because someone's on their way to solving it.
And yeah, there's some pretty cool prizes to win. I would definitely go check it out if you have not yet. Go to his Instagram at Every Last Mile.
Yeah, so check that out. You gotta beat him. We need a Bone Patrol fan to win this.
Come on, little Lucas. You can do it.
If Hudson doesn't
Get it
win, I'm
together.
going to be so mad.
I will kill him.
I'm going to cry.
After I kill him?
Both.
Deering.
Alright, well, I think so. Yeah, so get on that. But today we're going to be investigating an odd cult by the name of Echelon that meets once a year in a small isle outside of Croatia. That was christened Mars Island by the cult leader. And this cult has deep roots in Hollywood and the music business, which those businesses aren't really a stranger to cult-like activity. Honestly, they're pretty weird. But this cult specifically has been frequently compared to one of the largest scandals in the music world that we all know is the Fyre Festival. There's a documentary on it if you want to watch it. But essentially being they offered all these amenities to come to their festival on this island, and none of it was provided. So it was kind of like, it was just a money grab. In fact, the guy who created the Fyre Festival, Billy McFarland, was arrested for fraud because he grabbed so much money and he offered all these things. Like he said the Kardashians would be there. He offered all these cool like activities to do. And when you got there, you pretty much just slept in a tent on the island and did nothing.
Nice.
So it's a modern resort, minimalism. But so it's related to that, but the only difference is the leader of this festival or cult isn't being arrested. In fact, they're holding another meeting this year in 2021, and they have more planned for the following years. So now this story about the Mars Island isn't really anything new, especially to the media. So if you're into pop culture or anything like that, you know about this. And it's especially famous considering that their leader is the world famous Jared Leto. He's famous for his band 30 Seconds to Mars. He's in movies like the Dallas Buyers Club. He had a very unique take on the Joker. and he has an extremely weird wardrobe choices that he makes when he's attending these award ceremonies. Like, we've all seen the one where he's wearing a dress and holding a mannequin head that looks like his head. So he's kind of just like a unique guy. He makes a statement whenever he can, you know.
Real quick,
But before,
can I interject here? Can I tell you a weird experience I had with 30 Seconds to Mars?
Please.
Okay.
yeah, I'm
so
sure Jared Leto would actually like to hear it.
I was in Germany, in Berlin, and I can't remember if it was 2013 or 2014, but there was a concert being held at the O2 Event Center in Berlin, and 30 Seconds to Mars was the leading headline there. They were going to be the big bands everyone was excited for. There were giant posters, and I would see them every time I ride the train through Berlin. And one day I got off, I want to say it was at the East Station. I can't really remember. I got off at one of the bigger stations in Berlin. It wasn't the main station. And I'm walking out of the station, and I hear some guy speaking American English, which is really rare when you're in Europe. And I was just excited to hear someone else speaking American English, so I went over to talk to him, just to, like, hey, I'm also from America. And I walk up to him, there's like 4 or 5 dudes standing on the sidewalk, and they're all holding like giant cases, like instrument cases, traveling cases that all are just covered with like 30 Seconds to Mars. And mind you, 30 Seconds to Mars is playing like in the next 2 days at this big arena. And I go over to them, like, are you guys from America? They're like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. Me too. And we talked for like 20 seconds. Like, well, see you guys later, and left. So I don't know who I met. I don't know if it was actual band members or just people employed to carry their instruments around, but yeah, I may have met the band for all I know.
You were really close to getting drug into a cult, is what you were close to.
So at the very least, if I didn't meet Jared Leto, I met some of his instruments.
Hello.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. I honestly had no idea who they were, and then I was riding the train back, and I looked at the poster, and I was thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure those were some of the dudes I just talked to. They were probably so confused why some dude approached them and didn't even mention the band they were with.
It might have been refreshing, honestly.
They were just like, this guy was so excited that we were just from America, and then he left like 20 seconds later.
Well, you're lucky because on average it takes 30 seconds to become victim of a cult, so 20 seconds, you just made it out of
Is
there.
that what the name of the band is about?
Uh-huh.
I thought it was a tribute band to Elon Muskrat.
In his Tesla's
Oh my goodness,
to
I was
Mars.
just wearing a
thought.
SpaceX Occupy Mars shirt 2 days ago.
If you wore that to Mars Island, you'd be treated like a king.
Connections, my dude.
But before I get into talking about Jared Leto, I want to start by saying I don't really like the guy. But that being said, I know a lot of people love the guy, obviously because he has a cult following. So before we get into that, I'm going to try to be as honest as I can and not just be like, look how creepy this is. Look how creepy this is. I hate this guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to be as open to it as I can. So I just want to hop right into our first look at his cult on Mars Island. And it began with, so the first, at least to my knowledge, the first time there was a big meeting held on this island in Croatia was in 2019, and he tweeted, his band 30 Seconds to Mars tweeted in August of 2019. It said, yes, this is a cult, and then there's the triangle emoji with the hashtag Mars Island. So, and then attached to the tweet, there are 4 photos of pretty much Mars Island. And this is kind of our first look ever, and the media's first look ever at what life is like on the island, being a part of Jared Leto's cult. And I'm going to do my best to describe them here, but if you just Google that quote, you can find the tweet in real easy and just look at the photos too. It's not hard to find the photos.
Yeah, I looked up the photos as well. I looked up Mars Island, and there's just a bunch of them, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so the 4 photos attached to this tweet go as following. The first photo looks like it's probably everyone who attended Mars Island that year in a group photo. They're standing on the rocks right next to the water because they're on an island, so they're pretty much in the water. They're standing on the rocks, and almost every single person in this photo is wearing white, and they all seem excited to be there. Nothing like really creepy except for the fact that they're all only wearing white. That's kind of weird. They gotta I mean, I guess it's better than them all wearing like what was it, like Star Trek outfits for that one
Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, Heaven's Gate.
The away team. I kind of want to get one of those patches and like sew it onto a jacket and see how many people recognize.
I mean, as far as cults go, they didn't choose the ugliest outfits.
That's true. They're pretty fashionable.
And so the second photo shows what I'm assuming to be the same group, still in all white, sitting in a large wooden canopy. But this time they have all formed a semicircle around Jared Leto. So the photo is shot from behind Jared Leto. He's sitting on a chair. Well, and he's wearing a very Jim Jones-esque robe. He's got his long flowing hair in this white long robe, while the majority of the rest of the group is sitting on the floor or standing. I think I saw one dude in a lawn chair, and they're all facing him while he's holding a microphone, obviously speaking about something, and everybody seems to be listening pretty intently. And like no one seems to like be like confused. They all look like they're really into whatever he is saying. And the third photo is of Jared Leto, still in his white robe. Everyone's still decked out in all white. And they are walking along a gravel trail. Though most of Jared's followers are walking along this gravel path, he is walking upon a stone wall above them. And the photo is very laid out in such a way that it makes him kind of have like a Christ-like attribute to him, like he's holy, he's above them type of thing, It's and I want to preface that it's very clearly set up to be that way. Whether other people in the photo know it was set up to be that way, like the photo's framed in a way to make it look that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the last photo is a large group. It's the same group from before. They're all walking in one direction, and they all seem happy, probably heading to an event or an activity happening on the island. Honestly, in this photo, the only weird things are everyone's still dressed in all white. And to my knowledge, this is like a 3 to 5 day gathering.
Yeah. And
choosing all white on a dusty, dirty island while camping just seems like a bad idea.
I mean, imagine all the stains they're getting.
And then the only other weird thing is at least 80% of the attendees are female. Jared Leto is a handsome fella, but it just seems like a bad combination to call it a cult and then all of your followers are pretty much female. Yeah, so that's the tweet that got the media really going, got a lot of traction to it. And so after this tweet, the media just took it and ran with it. They loved it. They were feeding off of what he said, which initially was probably the point. Is I'm going to say, I got a cult. Everybody look at me, right? Like, that seems like a grab for attention, no? Please join my cult, please. It just reminds me of when I was a kid. Aaron used to just get butt naked on the table with only a cowboy hat on, and he would yell, "Yeehaw, yippee-ki-yay," just because he really wanted the attention.
Is that true, Aaron?
Is that true?
Yeah, I want to know.
I've learned it doesn't matter what I say, the fans side with Christopher.
What I know to be true is true. So the Echelon cult and Jared Leto so I guess Jared Leto stepped up to the plate to kind of explain the situation, and the Echelon cult rushed to back him up, right? Which only makes it seem a little weirder in my opinion, right? Like, of course you're going to defend this dude you just paid $2,000 to spend 3 to 5 days with on an island. Like, you're not going to spend that kind of money unless you're willing to like die for the guy.
Well, and also it's not just $2,000. They still have to pay their travel expenses, and basically majority of people are like camping. So like you have to bring tents, you have to bring just amenities that they don't provide. And yeah, they're spending like upwards to maybe 10 grand.
Yeah,
At least in that ballpark total.
Well, especially if you're coming from America.
Yeah.
Or like not anywhere near Croatia.
There's that one Croatian fan who's like, yeah, I just basically walk towards the boat and get on the...
Yeah, he just swims across to get to the island. No, but so Jared Leto pretty much confirms that it was a publicity tweet. Like, he's like, I've been told several times I have a cult following. And so to feed into that, I'm obviously going to say, yes, this is a cult. Like, if that's I think it's kind of the idea of what, like, any attention is good attention, or any publicity is good publicity, you know? Unless you're, what was it, Justin Bieber peeing on fans?
I thought that was R. Kelly.
I think it happens more frequently than it should.
Guys, can you stop doing that?
But so, I mean, yeah, I don't know, Aaron, would you agree? It kind of feels like it's nothing really cryptic, right? It's kind of just a publicity grab.
No, yeah, definitely not. And let's be real, when you're that famous, you don't even need to say it's a cult. There's already, right, when they say cult following, they use the word cult for a reason. He didn't need to do anything. People have already formed cults following celebrities. And let's be real, if we believe this is anything but him just taking advantage of fans to make a buck or two, then it's naive.
Exactly, yeah, and I 100% agree. And one thing people should probably keep in mind while they're listening to this is cult doesn't necessarily mean everyone in it is going to die. That's not what it means.
Yeah, no, there's different types of cults. We're not saying this is a death cult or a suicide cult.
Exactly, no, not at all.
But these are people who are very devoted to a man that they may or may not know at all, and are willing to pretty much do anything he says. And that's where the cult aspect comes from.
Exactly. One man has maybe a little too much power over some people that might not actually know what he's about.
Yep.
They like his music, they like his acting, but they don't really know him for him. And it's actually kind of funny that you bring that up, is because there's been several times where, like, the amount, so he'll be at his own 30 Seconds to Mars shows and he'll like jump into the crowd, is what I mean. Like, of course he's at his own show, but like he's in the crowd, he'll jump in, and like he's been like trampled and broken his nose and stuff because they're that crazy about him. Like, they need to get next to him. So it's like he has a lot of pull and power. And so his fans come running to his rescue here. At least they attempt to. In my opinion, they kind of just don't really do anything. I think him just saying alone, yeah, I did it because you guys all say I have a cult following, so I just ran with it, you know? So according to Raw Music TV is where I found this, the Echelon members have come up with a few defenses on their list. They listed a few that I just left out because it seemed kind of stupid. Like, one of them was like, they were personally attacking me for saying that they were a cult. It's like, okay, buddy, yeah, you went after a pop star, a rock star, yeah, you're gonna get some heat. But pretty much their defenses were nothing bad is happening, no one's got hurt, and they actually are encouraged to recite the fact that it's not a cult while they're actually there, to kind of be like, yeah, we're playing off the media's idea that this is a cult, but we're not actually a cult, you know? So that's kind of their defense, that it is not actually a cult because Jared Leto encourages them to chant, "This is not a cult," which seems kind of culty. I just feel like they could have not said anything and let Jared Leto handle it, and it would have been better. But you know what? The fans are going to do what the fans are going to do. You know, Lil Lucas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Lil Lucas, can you like make a cult for us maybe?
Okay, if we had a cult though, so we had to choose somewhere to establish our cult. Where are we establishing our cult?
Montana.
Tyler's just been playing too much Far Cry 5 recently, it sounds.
Yeah, Montana. I mean, think of it. There's not very many people. And so we don't have to have that many people to overrun the state. And it's wide open space. Montana is a huge state. And, like, you can live off the land.
Aaron, are you okay with settling our cult in Montana? I feel like you could probably get
if we're
land there.
Basically next door to Glacier National Park, then I'm okay with that, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it seems like cults choose a wardrobe based off of something they're into, whether like most cults might be like the white wardrobe that they're wearing type of thing, like more religious or Star Trek-y. What would our what would our outfits be? What would we require our cult members to wear?
You know that classic Halloween video from what is it? Oh my gosh, why am I spacing
CW?
Thank you. Of the guy where he's wearing the black morph suit with the jack-o'-lantern?
I agree. Yeah, that one's like the best suit.
That's what it would be.
And then, like, we do the spooky, was it spooky skeleton dance?
Exactly.
Spooky, scary skeletons?
Right. Yeah, we do that. And that's, like, our cult, like, not motto, but, like...
No, it's our ritual.
Song. Ritual, yes.
We make a massive bonfire with a giant effigy of, like, Jack Skellington when he's the Pumpkin King, and we dance around singing that.
Exactly.
And one of us, are you guys familiar with the SNL skit, the David S. Pumpkins?
No.
No? Aaron, have you seen that one?
I have not.
Well, I would recommend looking into it. My wife Skylie is obsessed with it. It's not as funny to me, but she loves it. I just feel like that has to be the cult leader is David S. Pumpkins. We dress up like him.
Who's in the skit? Do you know?
I don't know. I really my knowledge on SNL is like slim.
Okay.
Yeah. I would look it up, check it out. It's goofy. It's fun. It's a good Halloween ha ha hee hee. Get you good. But lastly, we need a cult name. What is our property called and what is our cult name? Because they are the Echelons and they are on Mars Island. So are we like what? Is our land called the Crypt?
Of course.
Yeah, the Crypts. Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the cult name?
Did Tyler just say we're called the Crips? We can't be called that. No. That name is actually already taken by a group.
You might be able to try to because sometimes on Instagram, if someone has a name, so let's just use Ninja, the streamer, as an example. If he were to come to Instagram and he wanted the name Ninja, that name's probably already taken. He can pay enough to get that name. I think we could pay them enough to get that name.
We could definitely try. That name already has a lot of history behind it. It may not be the smartest name to try to buy.
But it already has a following.
Rebranding, my dude.
Yeah, we're gonna pull a Michael Eisner for Disney, but for the Crips.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so yes, so the cult isn't anything to be worried about, honestly. I agree, it's a joke, it's not a big deal. The most cultish things that Jared Leto's cult has going on is their wardrobe choices, the fact that they schedule meetings that require you to spend a crap ton of money to get there on an excluded island where really it's a small group of people that are allowed to be there.
And also one thing, I was listening to a couple podcasts before this episode, and I'm trying to think. So in one of them, they were talking about the list of do's and don'ts on their website, and they were saying you can't bring cameras, you can't bring any drugs or alcohol, you can't bring selfie sticks, and there was just this whole list where it's just don't bring this, don't do this. Events are can be moved in any order, and there's also no refunds, I will say that.
Yes, it's you go there and you're in their hands. Whatever they decide happens is what's going to happen, essentially.
So here's the question. When you're actually looking at this group, do you believe it truly qualifies as a cult?
I feel like it has cult-like attributes. I don't know if it quite is to a point where you could... I guess I don't really know what Merriam-Webster would define as a cult,
so
though. I don't know what.
The International Cultic Studies Association has actually created basically kind of a checklist you can go through of characteristics that cults typically display. And it's a way they made this it was supposed to be so you could analyze groups that your family members belong to if you're worried that a family member might be part of a dangerous cult. If you want, we can go through. It's a little longer, but we could analyze this with the list to see how cult-like this group is.
Yeah, I'm down. Let me finish my thought here that I have, so we can, because I'll admit this. I wanted to research this, and I know a decent amount just about it. But all of my research was kind of a last minute thing this morning because we wanted to do an episode. So I want to get through this thought real quick, and then let's do that, okay?
All right.
So like I said, last I heard, it costs $2,000 for a ticket to get there, and then Tyler mentioned expenses are on YouTube to get there. So there's nothing really substantially creepy at this point that I'm saying like, hey, be worried about these guys. But I'd also like to say the Kool-Aid always comes at the end of a cult's life, not at the beginning. So we have time to grow and flourish. And we all know that Jared Leto's following is a cult following. The people who would do anything for him, he has complete power over. So if he decided he wanted to take it a certain way, undoubtedly people would go with him. So I think now is a good time that we can really look at it and see if it's a cult or if it's more of like a music festival that is more fire festival-y than Jonestown.
Jonestown's it.
I feel like Jonestown might have actually been a bigger scandal than the Fire Festival.
Well, we would hope so.
They offered Kool-Aid, not poison. All right, hit us with the list. Let's go through the list.
Okay. The group is focused on a living leader to whom members seem to display excessively zealous, unquestioning commitment.
Yeah, I would say I don't think there's a doubt on that one.
Yeah, I think that one is pretty clear. All right. I don't think there's any more reason to look more into that one. So the group is preoccupied with bringing in new members.
I actually don't know how hard they try to recruit because I think it might be like only so many seats are available. But that being said, they advertise it really hard. Like they're uploading on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. They advertise it hard. So they obviously want people to come.
Right.
And that could obviously just be for the money aspect of it.
Right. Advertisement, we know, is not cheap. I would say then if they are dumping that much into advertisement, it would seem the group is preoccupied with bringing in new members. Whether or not, of course, they're going to portray it as this is exclusive. And if you get in, that's a big deal because that's going to drive people to want to join it. But if it's really that exclusive, you don't need to be advertising it.
Yeah, so I think we can check that one as a yes.
The group is preoccupied with making money.
Oh, yeah.
They're making money.
It's the amount of money they're spending and the lifestyle they're living while they're there is ridiculous.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, just the amount of money people have to drop to simply get in. And once they're there, we don't know if there are more fees added on and other things they have to spend money on.
So I know that there's like extra activities they can do. Like they can also get like tattoos and stuff. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they spent more money.
Those types of things, there's no way they're just doing those for free.
And the idea and the crazy thing is Jared Leto's cult thing, he could have held it in a back alley in New York inside of a dumpster and people would have paid $2,000 to be there. There would have been a few people that would have gone.
Exactly.
So I can 100% say, they're interested in the money.
Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged or even punished. Yeah, you said that while they're on the island, they're supposed to denounce things against it, right? They were supposed to actively be speaking out about things that were calling them. How did you describe it exactly?
They essentially were they were encouraged to repeat the quote, "This is not a cult," while they were on the island.
Sounds like discouraging people from questioning or doubting it, the group.
Yeah, I just don't know what kind of punishment they can really do to you if you bring a selfie stick and, you know what I'm saying, or bring a camera, right?
Yeah, they'll just tell you to go home, right? So that's punishment enough. But it says, or even punishment. It's not necessarily required that punishment is involved, but it may be to some extent.
I kind of want someone to go, some rich dude who has nothing better to do, go with like a hidden camera to this island.
Like
I'm not encouraging it. I'm not
Grove shenanigans again.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Alex Jones, if you're listening,
we need you to go.
But we're not encouraging you to. In case the cops get involved, we didn't tell you to do it.
So far, 4 for 4. Mind-numbing techniques such as meditation, chanting, speaking in tongues, denunciation sessions, debilitating work routines are used to suppress doubts about the group and its leaders.
Well, so I know they do a lot of meditation and yoga there, but they don't... Those are the only things I know of that they do.
Do we know why they do them?
I don't know. I would think entertainment, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, they have it very on the down low. So to say whether or not what they do when they're in there, because like I said in those photos that 30 Seconds to Mars tweeted, they have them all sitting in a semicircle on the ground or standing up while he's on a microphone talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things going on, but we don't know what they are doing when they're talking. Like maybe it's stand-up comedy night on the island, or maybe they're doing weird satanic chants.
But it seems a little too convenient that one of the checklist items is a mind-numbing technique such as meditation, and that is one of the key aspects of the event.
Yeah, I think the idea is whatever they can do while you are there to make you feel like relaxed and calm and like you're in paradise, you know, the more likely you're willing to come back and follow the rules and do what they want you to do.
And that's when they give you the Kool-Aid.
Okay. The leadership dictates sometimes in great detail how members should think, act, and feel. For example, members must get permission from leaders to date, change jobs, get married. Leaders may prescribe what types of clothes to wear, where to live, how to discipline children, and so forth.
I mean, yeah, obviously the clothes, they're not there long enough for it to be like a complete lifestyle. Like he's going to tell them where to work and stuff. I really think it was only like 3 to 5 days. It's not very long. But yeah, they dictate what clothes to wear. And I did see people in the photos that aren't wearing the clothes, but obviously it's discouraged to not wear the white garb.
You get looked upon.
Yeah. They all stare at you in silence.
I feel their eyes. They're burning.
Yeah, I think that one, if there's like an in-between option, I probably would put that one, but I feel like, yeah, otherwise it just qualifies.
Right. The group is elitist, claiming a special, exalted status for itself, its leaders, and members.
I would, yeah, it's no different than going to the country club. You're paying a fat price to feel special while you're there and feel important next to the person you worship.
Oh, 100%. When that type of money is involved, then you have to question, is the group elitist?
Right, yeah.
Okay. The group has a polarized us versus them mentality.
I don't know how much Jared Leto has spoken out. Like I said, he did have that one thing, was like, yeah, I said yes, it's a cult because that's what you guys wanted to hear, give me attention type of thing. You know, he admitted it was like somewhat of a joke. The fans obviously feel that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he encourages it. I don't think he necessarily renounces it, though.
Yeah. The group's leader is not accountable to any authorities.
I actually don't know what kind of jurisdiction is being held over them in Croatia.
Right. Now,
Yeah,
obviously,
I
as soon
don't
as they're
know.
off that island, wherever he's living, he is accountable to the authorities of the country. So he's back in America. He follows the same laws everyone else does. But
Ideally, yeah.
But on that island, when they're in this group, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that one I actually genuinely don't think I can answer.
Yeah, I don't know how strong the Croatian government is.
And right, I don't what is he just renting out the island or does he own the island?
So he rents it out.
Okay, so then it's Croatian government, so I would assume that they if there was something to go down on the island, their police force or military force would be able to get involved.
Yeah. The group teaches or implies that its supposedly exalted ends justify means the members would have considered unethical before joining the group. So are there things that Jared Leto tells people to do that normally they would not do because they don't think it's right, but he has convinced them to do on the island?
I mean, he obviously has a lot of pull with what they wear and stuff, convincing him of that. There's nothing, once again, no one's gotten hurt. There's nothing creepy that we know of that takes place on the island. So as of now, no, I don't think anything like that has happened, honestly. Because, right, I don't think it's unethical to be let's all wear white for a weekend, you know?
Right. I agree. I haven't heard of anything or read anything that would make it seem that he's getting them to do unethical things while on the island. People are perfectly free to wear what they want, associate with who they want, spend their money on festivals that they want to, as long as those festivals are legal.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah. The leadership induces guilt feelings in members in order to control them.
Here's the thing, is I don't know if I get the vibe that he might not guilt trip them, but they don't want to let him down.
Sure.
It's kind of have you guys seen those memes where it's 13-year-old me at the One Direction concert acting different so Harry Styles will notice me?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's that vibe with everybody there.
Yeah, he's a celebrity figure and they want to be noticed.
Exactly. They're hoping that they are Jared Leto's first cult wife.
Did he notice you, though?
No, because they're all wearing white.
Oh, no,
You mean Harry Styles?
Yeah, I was really concerned. Did they notice them? What were you doing?
No, I don't think so. You haven't seen these memes?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I think it's more of a TikTok thing. But
yeah, I'm not on TikTok.
Me neither. So I see him on Instagram. But yeah, I think that's the vibe from most of the people there is I'm here spending my hard-earned money. I'm different. Notice me, Jared.
Jared, please. I spent all my money. Please.
Who are you supposed to be right now?
Please, Jared, please.
I feel like you're a guy who couldn't even get on the island.
Please let me in. I spent all my money to get here.
All right. Well, I honestly can't even remember the question.
No, you're good. I don't think there's anything currently that we have seen where Jared Leto is guilting people into doing what he wants.
No, yeah, I don't think there's any guilting. They have their rules, but it's not like he's guilting them into stabbing their neighbor.
Yeah, if there was any guilt, I would think it would be from other fans.
Yeah, I don't think he would start it.
Members' service to the group causes them to cut ties with family and friends and to give up personal goals and activities that were of interest before joining the group.
I don't know if I can really say on that one either, because there's people that spent money that they shouldn't have spent to be there, and people told them, what the frick are you doing? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it was that intense of how they described it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the ones before, where we don't really have enough evidence that's even happening at all, so we just have to assume it's not.
Yeah.
Members are expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to the group. They're there, for 3 to 5 days, but they chose to be there, and then after the 5 days, it ends.
Right, yeah, it's a short meeting.
So
time.
During those few days, all of their time and attention is devoted to that, but is it not the same when you go to Disneyland?
Right. I don't think that they are for the next 6 years only think about Jared Leto, but they might do that anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's almost starting to sound like it might be a fan made cult and he's just getting money from it, you know?
Yeah. I let me share. There's one last thing on the checklist, then I have a way I would like to describe it. So the last one is members are encouraged or required to live and or socialize only with other group members, which I don't think that's the case, because they also have their social media, and the idea is if they're advertising it, they would want you to advertise it as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's only while you're there that it's like strict group activity, you know? I don't think they encourage outside life to be different.
After reading through this list and knowing what we know, because that's all we can use, I believe instead of calling it Jared Leto's cult, it's more of a Jared Leto summer camp.
Well, I mean, even before they rented out the island, the Mars Island, they called the meet together Mars Camp.
Yeah.
So it is a summer camp.
It's just at this point, because, it has some characteristics that cults have. But guess what? A lot of organizations have that. But the thing is, in order to be a cult, you've got to have all of these characteristics in pretty much the worst ways. Now maybe when these characteristics first show up and you're a little worried, you can monitor the group's evolution over the next few years to see if maybe it slowly tries to incorporate some of these missing attributes we just read. You know, if that's something you're scared about, that's not a dumb thing to do. But there's a lot of groups that have just pieces of this. That's just the nature of being in a group. You go, what did you go to a private school and they made you wear a uniform? They're not a cult just because they forced you to wear a certain type of clothing and you weren't allowed to bring your phone to school.
Yeah, I think, and yeah, that's how I felt when talking about it, is it's like, yeah, it's self-proclaimed for the attention of it, but it's not like anything really is going on that is really disconnecting anybody from reality and making them think Jared Leto is a god, other than the fact that they might just think that already.
Yeah, and maybe for the 3 to 5 days, they do disconnect themselves from reality, but we all do things like that. That's why we go on vacation. But if all of a sudden the festival changed from come live on my island for a weekend to come and live on my island permanently, okay, that's a little more worrisome.
I mean, I was going to say they do call him a prophet.
Yeah. I can call you a prophet. I mean, right? It doesn't...
Oh, thanks.
You know, I mean, I didn't.
Oh, what?
These things, and also I feel in the last 5 or so years, these types of religious terms have become more mainstream just to use, and they don't always carry the same amount of weight as they do in a religion.
Yeah, I think they've been like overusing them and like just, it's almost like a blanket term, which it probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, you know, it's the evolution of language, but I don't think just because they call Jared Leto a prophet is anything to immediately freak out about.
Yeah, and like I said, the history of cults, they don't start with the Kool-Aid, they end with the Kool-Aid. They usually have a long history before reaching that point.
Right.
And we kind of feel like Jared Leto isn't in a cult, right? We don't feel like he started a cult.
Right. Not currently.
I feel like
he could have. And like you said, the cults, they start off slow. You can't just start off at 100% crazy because no one wants to deal with that. You start at 10% crazy and add on a little crazy every year. And so if next year the cult adds on a couple more rules that are a little more constricting and binding, then maybe we're getting closer and closer to being a cult. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way, but I'm not going to let Jared Leto off the hook that easily. Like I said, I don't like the guy, so I got to get a little bit of me in there. So I actually want to go back through his history because he has a kind of interesting history through Hollywood and through 30 Seconds to Mars. And like, this isn't like a deep dive, and no, I'm not just going after him. This is things I kind of thought might show that he's egotistical enough that if he is prone to believe it, he could turn this festival into a cult that could be actually harmful to people. That's so I want to start off by going through Hollywood, which is where we all know him as the Joker. But Hollywood is kind of like we all know it as the breeding ground for strange and bizarre characters. A lot of people doing really kind of like mild things for attention, like Jared Leto seems to be doing a lot. Or actually really creepy and disturbing things. But for now, Jared Leto's got a combination of both. He's got a little bit of kind of just like, he's carrying his own head. And then we're going to get into some of the creepier things he chose to do that kind of I'll explain why I don't like the guy that much. And honestly, there's no better time to talk about this because he's going to have his reprise as the Joker in the Snyder whatever cut or whatever they're calling it for the Justice League. They decided to bring the Joker back that most people didn't like. They're giving him a second chance. And hey, you know what? He's right. What can I say? We do live in a society. You know what I'm saying? So Jared Leto is known for putting himself on a higher platform. There's no doubt about the fact that he views himself as kind of a higher individual than most people. And that might just be like his work ethic. He views himself as really important, and so he puts himself on a higher platform, which helps him achieve goals, right? But he does view himself as a higher being than most. Not saying he actually thinks he's a god or like he's extraterrestrial. He might, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, it's not uncommon that really famous or powerful people have a god complex.
Yeah, he definitely believes he's a legendary figure. And he's just like a lot of rock stars or people who obtain a lot of power, like actors and stuff. There's a lot of stories of them mistreating their fans and being really rude, and he's no stranger to that. He's very rude to people who don't. So there's this video where he's at he's got his concert going, and he asks everyone to stand up. Have you guys seen this video?
No.
Everyone's standing up, getting the music. There's this dude way out in the crowd that doesn't stand up. And Jared Leto's like calling him out. He's like, stand up, stand up, stand up. The dude was in a wheelchair. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever, man. But yeah, but he doesn't just do it to fans. He's not rude to just fans. He actually has a pretty famous run-in with Elijah Wood. That's kind of funny. In 2003, Elijah Wood made a statement about other actors starting bands, and it goes accordingly. I'm going to censor it here because he says some naughty words. But Elijah Wood says about 30 seconds. Well, he says, I would never try to be like other actors and attempt to make music myself. I mean, have you heard 30 Seconds to Mars? Bleep awful, man. So 3 years later, Jared Leto was finally in the same room as Elijah Wood, and he decided to confront him in front of all their peers, and he just chews him out by telling him, like, you don't understand, my music's great, blah, blah, blah. And then Elijah Wood just was like, he's just mad I don't like his music. He just blows it off, you know? And granted, Elijah probably didn't need to say that. It was kind of a brutal way to say he doesn't like his music, honestly. But also, Jared Leto's in an industry where it's like he's got to take some harsh criticism. Like, that's what he does. Yeah. So he had a flawed moment. I'll give him that.
Well, if they're willing to just go at each other's throats in public, probably not the first time they've had a confrontation. So maybe something happened in private, and Elijah was like, all right, fine, I'm going to make fun of your band.
Right, yeah. So I'm not saying that he was in the right or wrong in the situation. I just thought it was kind of a funny anecdote that he doesn't just view himself as like a legendary figure just towards his fans, but when another really successful actor says something about him, he thinks that he doesn't know any better too. It's like the dude just has an opinion and he was brutal about it. Yeah, maybe it wasn't a cool thing to say, but come on, you're in the business, Whatever. He had a bad moment. And so I don't think anybody can deny that Jared Leto is really good at committing to a role. He's really known for his method acting. So, for a good example as well, he was getting into character for his character in Requiem for a Dream. He decided to actually become homeless for a while to like prep for this.
Have any of you guys seen this movie?
I've seen clips. I've never seen the full movie. So, it's a weird movie.
Well, yes. He decided to be homeless. That just literally means he just decided to sleep on the street. I mean, he still owned a house.
Right. He decided to go to Mars Island. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how he did it, but yeah.
See, that's like kind of goofy to me that he would do that. I'm going to live on the street. Well, in the back of his head's like, if this is too crappy, I'll just go back home.
Right. Yeah. A real method acting to the fullest extreme would be selling your house.
Sell your house. You have nowhere to go.
And then donate all your
money
to charity.
Cut your ties off with anybody's going to help you and move to a city that no one knows where you're at and disappear for a month.
Yeah. Yeah. And I respect the fact that he wanted to do that. Like, the method acting is some people's way of getting into character. Like for Blade Runner 2049, he actually would wear contacts that made it so he couldn't see anything because his character was blind in the movie. And so it's like cool, I guess, if you want to get in the shoes of the character, that's one way to do it. A lot of Christian Bale's known for doing it. He's got a lot of times where he's blown up on set because he's still kind of in character and stuff. And so like I think that there's no question that like he's committed to what he wants to do. But he might have taken a little too far with Suicide Squad and taking on the role as the Joker. And while preparing for the role of the Joker, he refused to break character. Like he would be at his concerts and he would be doing the Joker voice and stuff. Like he was living the Joker life. Like Zach from the H3 podcast says, he had real Joker brain.
Was he dressed up as Joker?
I don't think he did, but his hair's green. Like his hair was dyed green, but like he would do the voice.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And that is, once again, whatever, weird. But this is where I don't like Jared Leto from here on out. This is where my dislike of Jared Leto comes from. So he was known for sending bizarre and disgusting gifts to other people in the set of Suicide Squad, to help become the role of the Joker. He believed that the Joker is the type of person who doesn't have boundaries. He would do anything to make a statement. And it's like, yeah, you're probably right, but maybe like leave that to the fantasy world. He one of the ones people know the best is he sent Margot Robbie, who played Harley Quinn in the movies, a love letter accompanied with a live rat. Isn't that just a little weird?
It's just why. There's just a point. And this is where the classic term is just edgelord comes in, Like you see, it's Jared Leto, so we're like, oh, what a quirky, interesting, cryptic individual. But then the guy on Reddit does it, you call him an idiot.
Right. Yeah, it's... Send him to cringe jail. Bonk. Go to cringe
bonk.
jail.
You're done, edgelord. Go home. Get off Tumblr. It's really stupid that when someone famous does it, even if we're a little weirded out or creeped out, some of us are impressed. But if the neckbeard does it, then yeah, he needs to be ostracized from society. Get out of here.
It's not as cool unless you're Jared, all right? Yeah. And he thought he would help his other fellow cast member, Will Smith, get into role by sending him a gift. Very generous of him. But in his gift, it was a box of bullets. And it fits his role because Will Smith is playing Deadshot. But being in Hollywood, I'm sure you've heard about Jared Leto. Being Will Smith, would you not be like, is this dude, like, threatening me? Like, doesn't that seem weird, too? It's not a live rat, but, like, a live rat's just gross. This might seem like a death threat.
To be fair, if you're somebody who likes to shoot if that's something you're into. Getting a box of bullets these days would be a very welcomed gift, seeing as ammo is very expensive and hard to find.
That's true.
Maybe he had the foresight that that's where we were going, and he was like, "Will, here you go. Stock up now. This will be gold in a few years."
He is a prophet.
Jared Leto is a prophet.
Oh, yeah, did we not tell you? Me and Tyler are going to the Mars thing, the Mars Island
in 2021.
Yeah.
Did you guys pick out your fits?
We're not allowed to tell you.
Oh no.
No. Jared told us we can't. Actually, this is the last episode. We're not allowed to communicate with anybody not going because we're better than everyone else.
I mean, hey, you know what? Jared Leto is a prophet. He knows what's best.
Hey,
right?
you can't. You're not allowed to say his name anymore. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that.
Oh,
you have to call him.
Yeah, please.
The prophet is, he knows best. But those who know him really well just call him.
Yeah, that's Mars Festival language that we speak. It's called Marsonian.
Oh man, yeah. When I saw that was dropping a new language, I was psyched, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's really cool though. Is now I can watch Marvin the Martian without subtitles because I can just know what he's saying.
Well, so his gifts just get weirder. So early on in the filming, was not able.
You can still say his last name. You're allowed to do that.
Oh, Leto. Leto.
Yeah, yeah.
Leto wasn't actually able to be there for early stages of filming and prepping for the movie for Suicide Squad. I don't actually know why. It probably was because he was on tour or something. Might have been even for a different movie, but I would assume it was tour. But while the other actors were on set, he felt like they might think he wasn't putting as much effort into the movie as they were. So he wanted to show them like, hey, even while I'm on the road, I'm committed to my role as the Joker. So he sent the whole crew a gift. And this gift was a pig's carcass and a video with it that was him explaining how committed to his role he was. It honestly reminds me of, like, his method acting is working because it's reminding me of the scene from The Dark Knight where he's the Joker's got the footage that on the news, do you know what I'm talking about? And he's got dude. That's all I can imagine is it's the same crappy quality and everything.
I feel that his gifts are actually really good gifts. He's just giving them to the wrong people.
And to be fair, we don't know where he was when he sent the gift. The pig could have been alive.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who wishes that they would get a pig carcass in the mail. It would just change their life.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was the staff of Suicide Squad.
You're right. I might be being a little harsh. He's just Winston from New Girl, where he just doesn't, like, Winston doesn't know a good prank. He either
doesn't go far enough or he goes way over the top.
Yeah, and he's way over the top right now. and speaking of way over the top, we're gonna do the most disgusting one. This one's extremely inappropriate, so consider yourself warned. And Jared Leto believed that, like I said earlier, someone like the Joker does not believe in boundaries. There's no boundaries.
That is true for the fictional character, Jared. The character you are not actually. You are not actually the Joker.
And this, in my opinion, this gift. It's harassment. It's people like, maybe, but no, it's borderline harassment to just harassment at this point, in my opinion. It's extremely disgusting, and I've hopefully given you enough time that if you don't want to know what it is, you can just skip this part. So be warned. He sent them multiple crew members boxes. Inside the box were used condoms.
Wow. Does he know?
Like I said,
does he know that the Joker's the bad guy?
I don't even think he knows who the Joker is.
Does he think? Okay, yeah. Let's stop back. Does he think the Joker, in his free time when he wasn't terrorizing Gotham and plotting a way to pin Bruce Wayne as the bad guy, that he was sending pig carcasses in the mail to not to random people, but people that were supposed to be his colleagues and friends.
It kind of sounds like he thinks the Joker is part of a really intense frat house, rivaling against another frat house, and they're sending gifts.
Method acting is whatever. If that's what he was trying to do with the Joker, then he's terrible.
Yeah, I feel like the cringe of him being the Joker on stage is one thing, but like that's not too far. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But he took it way too far. And so I mean, there's a lot of other things about him that people dislike, where it started to seem like people were just getting more like personally, like I don't like how I'm trying to avoid. Essentially, I'm trying to stick with what is a fact that has happened, right? But like I said, at the end of the day, nothing in their gathering is dangerous. I don't think anyone should necessarily be fearful. Definitely keep an eye on it, because if it goes completely full cult mode, and you know what they say, never go full cult mode.
Yeah, never go full Jared Leto.
Never go full Leto.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
But my point of bringing those things up with his method acting is he can very clearly blur the lines between reality and his characters. And if it ever gets into his mind that he is the godlike character that his fans view him as, and that line gets blurred, this is when the Kool-Aid comes in.
Yeah.
But for now, it's nothing to worry about other than just weird activities on sets. It sounds like they're just doing yoga on an island. So I mean, unless there's anything that I missed in Jared Leto's or Leto's repertoire, then now would be the time to share it. But I'm ready to lock it in the crypt.
I would say we do a soft lock, because this is obviously still a work in progress of this group and its activities. And maybe nothing happens, but maybe after this year's festival, there's more to report on.
If part of what you should be encouraged to bring is Kool-Aid at any point, just please don't go.
Right. Well, if they provide you the list of things you are allowed to bring, are not allowed to bring, and are required to bring, if a packet of fruit punch Kool-Aid mixes on there, I would say cut your losses and maybe just don't go this year.
Yeah, maybe invest your $2,000+ into, I don't know, GameStop.
Ooh, maybe.
Or AMC.
It might be worth it. I don't know.
But I say we get one of those bike locks with the letter combinations, one that we could easily reopen if we needed to, and we'll put that on the crypt.
What's the letter combination?
You think I'm just going to share that over the podcast so anybody can open it?
Oh no, Chris already told me. It's okay.
I said it in Marshanian or whatever you said.
Anybody who's part of the cult will be able to get into it.
Yeah, but they got to find it first.
Good luck.
True.
And it's not in Montana where we said
at Tyler's house.
It's opposite of... That's all I'm going to say.
All right, let's lock this up. That was all the letters.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure you got all of them.
Oh, wait, I missed 2.
Well, on that note, Good night, everybody. Mwah.
Nighty-night.